So, am I the only one who watched Bo Burnham's Inside and found the song White Woman's Instagram to be like one of the saddest things on it? So quickly, the background. This past spring, Bo Burnham released a feature-length one-man show called Inside on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, you probably should. It's a visual album that's part stand-up comedy and part musical exploration of loneliness and depression and our need to engage with authentic projects and so much more. It's undoubtedly a work of art. Within the first half of the special, Burnham included a funny and seemingly satirical song called White Woman's Instagram. It floated around on YouTube as a sort of single, disconnected from the context of the full show. The song primarily consists of a single long list of cliched Instagram content associated with white female influencers, and these highly curated images of joy, consumerism, and relaxation that project a lifestyle of comfort and unending happiness. Heaven. This song and the accompanying video appear on the surface to simply be a satirical mocking of the way we all, but he calls out millennial white women in particular, use social media. Notably to project a dishonest, shallow, but visually attractive image of ourselves into the world. It seems to be a pretty basic criticism of how we curate our identities superficially and publicly on the internet, only showing the joy and only showing the beauty, sort of giving in to the worst parts of our ego. It's nothing that we haven't heard before. However, there are bits of this song that complicate that. It's more than a simple satire, and I actually think that it helps Bo Burnham address some of the more sophisticated themes in the special in really meaningful ways. It contributes and explores some of the thematic arcs, and though funny, the song will also break your heart at the same time. Notably, this happens when the song breaks from its form as a list of images and turns its attention to a caption on one of those images. Additionally, there's a scene directly following the song that I think asks us as readers to think about the song on a deeper level, and I'm going to take a look at both of those examples one at a time and discuss how this song connects to the larger themes of the special. We'll start with the caption. Most of the song's a simple list of common images on Instagram like latte foam art and a poem written in the sand. Then, at about the 2-minute and 20 mark of the song, within the list of cliche images, he points out another pretty cliche image, a favorite picture of her mom. The image fits comfortably in the list so far. But then the song changes tone. Bo reads the caption, and it's a direct address to the eponymous white woman's mother. "I can't believe it," he sings. "It's been a decade since you've been gone. Mama, I miss you. Miss sitting with you in the front yard. Still figuring out how to keep living without you. It's got a little better, but it's still hard. Mama, I got a job I love and my own apartment. Mama, I got a boyfriend and I'm crazy about him. Your little girl didn't do too bad. Mama, I love you. Give a hug and kiss to Dad." The injection of real emotion in that line is striking. The song and the images have been funny. It lulled me into thinking that this song's purpose was satire. It's supposed to be funny. It's critical of the Instagram feed. The chorus ironically mocks the project of self-curation on Instagram hyperbolically as heaven, which seems both critical of this particular vision of heaven and the construction of that vision. I mean, the entire song, Burnham has been recreating these images with his 6'5", bearded, 30-year-old man body inhabiting positions and situations that culturally we associate with a different body type. But then, here, in this caption, for the first time, we see a real emotion. It's not funny anymore. The ironic tone quickly shifts to sincerity. This part is about something missing from the white woman's life rather than something that she has. And the emotional weight of this single absence overwhelms all the previously listed comforts that do exist in her life. The joy of the Instagram feed and the joy that we were having making fun of it they both disappear pretty quick. We had attributed the intention of the Instagram feed as egotism or shallowness. But at this point in the song, we realize a possible alternative ambition. I mean, it's been easy for us to look at this and think, this is just a narcissistic, overly curated portrait of somebody obsessed with images or making other people jealous or whatever. But the caption shifts that perspective. We're now asked to understand the Instagram feed as something addressed to the deceased mother. We might not be the intended audience. The caption is a direct address, and it's not addressed to us. It's, on some level, an attempt for her to symbolically communicate with her mama. And the message that she's trying to communicate is that her mama's little girl didn't turn out too bad. By including this highly emotional appeal in the middle of the song, Burnham allows us to have a sympathetic response to the white woman's superficial and overly curated social media presence. This curation, we now see, is the deposit of a woman struggling to overcome a loss. It's a journal entry. It's therapeutic letters written to a loved one, but it's played out publicly on the gram. Like, we might still think that this public display of grief is misguided or won't actually help her process, but I don't know, maybe it will. And either way, the impulse for her to create these images of safety are grounded in something real and something sympathetic. The performance of this grief publicly may not help, but that doesn't undermine the sincerity of the pain. This point, I think, is emphasized by the way that Burnham plays with the aspect ratio of the video. The entire thing so far has been shot in the perfect square of an Instagram post. We see Bo arranging the compositions of his shots within that space, and they're balanced and harmonious or whatever. However, when the song turns to the description of the caption and a direct address to the mama, the aspect ratio changes and we see more of Burnham's apartment. We see his air conditioning unit and the table with his equipment. We, in short, see behind the scenes. It's a common device on the entire special. In the same way that the caption widened our understanding of the white woman's life by including her emotional struggle and not simply the parts of her life that seem heavenly, the shifting aspect ratio literally widens our understanding of Burnham's production and parts of the human experience that exist outside the frame that we present to the world, both literally and metaphorically. This, again, challenges our instinct to cynically read the performative nature of an Instagram feed by showing us what we should already know. That we and the people that we see on social media or in person are larger than the images that they present to us. And obviously these images associated with a white woman's Instagram are not always the result of somebody processing grief. But I think the general point holds true. We're all doing it for some reason, to impress somebody or to keep our family updated with our lives or whatever. That impulse, whatever it is real. The caption and the shifting aspect ratio point us toward our responsibility as readers to see each other beyond the frame of what we're given. But the caption ends, and as it does, the aspect ratio of the square returns, and the song returns to listing images of goat cheese salad and a backlit hammock. Those moments of empathy and the responsibility that we have to think about people beyond the images that we see at any given moment are difficult to maintain, as we scroll through the feed. Then the song ends. Burnham blows out a candle, and immediately following that, we see him sitting alone in his room, lit only by the light of his computer screen, editing the video for White Woman's Instagram, which we hear being played from his laptop. It's here when we can make the connection between the performance of the white woman on Instagram and Burnham's performance in the work that we're seeing when we watch Inside. They are both curated images. She's curating an image of comfort and beauty, and he's creating the image of, funny guy on the internet. Both the white woman's Instagram and Inside illustrate the impulse that we all have to present our best selves to the world and to curate an image and engage in self-fashioning. And they both also show us glimpses of the world outside of that frame. Inside is explicit about this point. The entire special has images of him creating the work that he'll eventually release to the public. He talks about the act of creating and performing within the performance itself. And though it may not be obvious at first, a close or sympathetic reading of a white woman's Instagram also gives us insight into her process and motivations. It's not as easy to read the images of an Instagram feed sympathetically or take the time to appreciate, rather than criticize, the self-curation as something deserving of empathy. But as the song demonstrates, we can do it if we pay a little bit more attention. And this is part of one of the thematic threads in the special as a whole. Much of Inside is about this tension between our need to perform and create on one side, and the recognition that that impulse to create can be motivated by the worst parts of ourselves on the other. Performance can be both how we process pain for ourselves.
Is there anyone out there? Or am I all alone? It wouldn't make a difference, still I don't want to know.
But it can also be driven selfishly by our ego. Throughout the special, he calls attention to some of the other ways public performance can be driven by malicious actors. He addresses the way that performance can be driven by money, or how all performance is mediated by existing power structures.
Sako, we were just talking about the world and how it works.
And there are a lot of cynical ways that we can think about performance and comedy as supporting those structures as they operate within them, as driven by capital, as impotent, as narcissistic, and so on. But also, at the heart of Inside is the belief that creating something and sharing it can heal us. That being engaged with projects of expression can be a reason to wake up in the morning. That creating something and putting it out into the world can help us make connections, can help us process and deal with whatever we might be struggling with. And we can draw back the curtain of our performance, expand our aspect ratio, and sympathetically read the creations of others as we recognize the humanity behind that drive to perform and reach out to the world. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing. I'll be back to my usual art-related content next month. See you then.